back to another episode of Talk and Shine. I'm your host, Destiny, and this is a space where we talk about the news. I give y'all some real talk, and of course, I give y'all some advice to be. Now, tonight, all the stories connect to one big topic. Who should we trust, and who's responsible when things go wrong? From Illinois changing road test requirements for senior drivers and shutting down rumors about banning old cars, to growing concerns over digital privacy as Gmail, Yahoo, and even Apple new AI-powered Siri face questions about how much of our personal information technology can access. Also talking about what happens when celebrations turn into chaos after the New York Knicks' historic championship win sparked arrests, injuries, and damage across the whole city. Okay, so y'all, we're gonna jump right on in. Glad to have y'all back this week. Thank y'all for tuning in. And yeah, we just gonna move. Well, y'all want to hear some stuff about the wedding? I am looking for a new dress, y'all, because I thought I found a dress, but I'm not sure. And I told my bridesmaids that I did have a dress picked out. Y'all, if y'all watching this, I don't. But we getting there. And we're going to move on now. Talk your shine, baby. Talk your shine. Let's talk about a story that has social media buzzing and a lot of people confused. Recently, posts started circulating online claiming that Illinois was planning to ban older cars from the road. The rumors spread quickly, with some people arguing that states are trying to force drivers into newer vehicles, while others question whether older cars could eventually face more restrictions. But here's the reality. Illinois is not banning older cars, so they say.
Everyone's talking about right to repair, and Illinois is banning old cars, but nobody's connecting the dots. So let me do it for you. A few days ago, I showed you the TCU telematics control unit inside your car. That's recording your driving data and selling it to insurance companies. GM just got hit with a federal lawsuit for it. That video had over 300,000 views. But here's what's happened since. Ford filed patent to read your lips, scan your iris, monitor your heart rate, and run your face through a criminal database inside your own truck. It's not a conspiracy theory. That's a published patent from Ford Global Technologies. At the same time, automakers are lobbying Congress to make sure you never access your car's electronics. The Repair Act was supposed to give you the right to your own vehicle data. They gutted it in a committee, stripped the telematics provision completely. And now Illinois just passed HB 4948. 2 speeding tickets in a year, you're forced to install a speeding tracking, for $30 a month. And you have to have that for 3 years. And if your car is older than 1996, guess what? It doesn't have the port. You can't comply. Your license is suspended and you're fucking...
What Illinois is actually doing is changing its driver's license renewal rules for senior drivers. Beginning July 1st, 2026, drivers between the age of 79 and 86 will no longer be required to take a mandatory behind-the-wheel road test when renewing their license. Instead, they'll only need to pass the vision exam. Drivers aged 87 and older will be required to take both a vision test and driver's test. The state says the change is designed to focus more on a person's driving ability rather than age alone. Supporters of the new law argue that many older drivers have decades of safe driving experience and should automatically be required to take a road test simply because of their age. Shouldn't be automatically required to take the road test. They point to data showing that many seniors are amongst the safe drivers on the road. But not everyone is convinced. Some people worry that eliminating mandatory road tests for certain age groups could make roads less safe, especially as vision reaction times and cognitive abilities can change as people get older. Others argue that regular drivers' evaluations should be based on health and driving records rather than should be based on health and driving records rather than a person's birthday. So, meanwhile, the online rumors about the Illinois banning older vehicles appears to be separate from the driver's license law. Antique and classic vehicles remain legal to own and register in Illinois despite claims circulating on social media. So now the conversation has shifted from older cars to older drivers. Should age-based road tests remain in place, or should driving privileges be evaluated on an individual basis? think everybody should be given a fair chance, but I do think that they should still have the mandatory road test. I mean, hey, before 70, people should be having to take a mandatory road test if you ask me. But that's the question Illinois lawmakers, drivers, and families are debating right now. So, what do y'all think? Moving on, let's get into a story that brings privacy concerns back into the spotlight. For years, people have trusted email services like Gmail and Yahoo with some of their most personal conversations. But now both companies are facing renewed scrutiny and legal challenges over how users' data is being collected, tracked, and used for advertising purposes. One of the latest legal actions involving Yahoo, where attorneys allege the company's advertising technology used email linked identifiers to track users across websites and devices. The claims argue that users may not have been fully aware of how their information was being connected to advertising systems. Yahoo has not been found liable, and the allegations are still being contested. Google has also faced multiple privacy related lawsuits over the years involving Gmail and user data, which we've talked about here before. Some recent lawsuits have centered on allegations that user information was collected or analyzed in ways consumers didn't fully understand, including concerns about AI-related features and data tracking settings. Google has denied wrongdoing and continues to defend its practices.
So whose email still ends in this or this? Because if you have a Gmail account or a Yahoo account, you're going to want to stop and listen to this. Both Gmail and Yahoo are currently being sued. Gmail is currently in a $425 million settlement, and Yahoo is in a $117 settlement as well. Allegedly, Google was tracking our web traffic data even when we had tracking turned off. And Yahoo were using something called Connect ID to track us. And obviously, both of these things are super illegal. These are both listed as coming soon in the Settlemate app. I use Settlemate to track lawsuits like these all the time. I set an alert so I'll be notified as soon as claims for these two open up. Make sure you like, save, and follow because you don't want to miss out on this.
What's interesting is that this debate isn't new. Lawsuits dating back more than a decade accuse both Gmail and Yahoo of scanning emails content for advertising purposes, including emails sent by people who didn't even have a Gmail or Yahoo account. Those cases help spark a broader conversation about digital privacy and what users are actually agreeing to when they click accepting terms and conditions. Now, with AI becoming more integrated into email platforms, many consumers are asking a bigger question. Is convenience worth the amount of personal information we're giving up? Supporters argue that the data collections help provide smarter search results, spam protection, personalized experiences, and free services. Critics say many users don't fully understand how much information is being collected or how it may be used behind the scenes. So while the lawsuit continues to move through the legal system, the bigger conversation may not be about Gmail or Yahoo specifically. It may be about whether consumers truly have control over the digital privacy in a world where almost every click, search, and email leaves behind data. This story really comes down to trust. We use these platforms every day, but how often do we stop and ask what we're giving up in exchange for convenience? That's the conversation a lot of people are having right now. And that's a conversation I need to be having with myself because I don't know how many times I've got on Yahoo or Google or something and I've got an advertisement for something I've just recently searched or something like that. Or just, I don't know, it's really creepy. And yeah, we're going to move on down to the next, which is kind of about AI and being all in your business too. But yeah. Apple is making one of its bigger changes to Siri since its first launch. At the 2026 Worldwide Developer Conference, Apple officially unveiled Siri's AI, a completely rebuilt version of Siri's powered by Apple Intelligence. The company says this isn't just an update, it's an entirely new assistant designed to be more conversational, more aware of your personal information, and better at completing tasks across your devices. According to Apple, the new Siri can understand what's on your screen, search through your messages, emails, photos, and calendars to find information, and even pull current information from the web to answer questions in real time.
For those who don't know, I work in IT during the day. That's my day job. Apple is going to release an AI agent and embed it into Siri. Basically giving Siri the kind of capabilities that ChatGPT or Claude has, right? The drawback is that it appears Apple is going to force your phone and all the information contained therein, all of it, your files, your contacts, your notes, your email, to be read by that AI agent. They're going to know all of your life so that you may have that embedded service within your phone. And there's a real danger that third parties may hack that capability to retrieve that information from your phone. The European Union was really concerned about this, so much so that they said, you're not deploying this to any European iPads or iPhones. Apple came back and said, all right, listen, we're going to put in place some sort of an intermediary agent, a third-party company that's going to sit in between your phone and us, so that AI is going to basically work in a sandbox, and the information is going to be limited and it's going to work within those parameters. And even that, the European Union said, no, we don't want it. Europe is still thinking that it's still too dangerous for its citizen. Now, this is interesting. Number one, Apple is not offering the same option of a third-party mitigator, if you wish.
The system is also designed to remember context during conversations, making interactions feel more like talking to a person rather than giving one command at a time. For example, if you ask Siri when your flight leaves, it could search your emails for the perfect confirmation. If you're looking at a restaurant online, Siri may be able to answer questions about it without you having to explain what you're viewing. Apple says the features are powered by a new privacy-focused AI system that combines on-devices processing with secure cloud computing when needed. Supporters say that this is exactly what Siri's needed to stay competitive with AI assistants from companies like OpenAI and Google. Apple has faced criticism for years that Siri was falling behind other AI tools, and many users have been asking for smarter, more capable assistants. Recent reports suggest Apple even scrapped an earlier version and rebuilt Siri from the ground up to make it more powerful. But not everyone is celebrating. Some privacy advocates are questioning how comfortable people should be with an AI assistant that can access emails, messages, photos, and personal data to provide answers. Others worry that an AI becomes more embedded every day in devices. Consumers may not fully understand how much information these systems are analyzing behind the scenes. While Apple says privacy remains a core part of their design, critics argue the conveniency and privacy often end up in tension with one another. The new Siri AI is expecting to roll out later, maybe towards the end of this year, on supported AI devices as part of the iOS 27 and other software updates. However, some older devices won't support all of the new AI features due to the hardware requirements. I have an old phone, and I hope my phone doesn't do that. I don't want that. I don't want that at all. So my question for you guys is, if an AI assistant could save you time by searching through your emails, messages, and photos to help you manage your life, would you use it? Or is that crossing the line when it comes to privacy? don't know, y'all. I feel like we just are giving technology just too much of our time and too much of our personal information. I do think that is crossing the line just a tad. Like, you should be able to go through your own emails and check your own emails. Like, I feel like that. Mm, in a way, I mean, maybe it's helpful for some, but the New York Knicks won the first NBA championship in more than 50 years. Celebrations across the New York City quickly turned into chaos. Thousands of fans flooded the streets around Madison Square Garden and Times Square with videos showing people climbing buses, setting fires, damaging properties, and clashing with police. Authorities reported dozens of arrests, and at least one teenager was injured in a shooting during the celebration.
Some school buses were set on fire, NYPD vehicles were damaged, and some officers were injured. There were also dozens of New Yorkers who were arrested last night after the Knicks' historic win. Now, a lot of the celebrations, for the most part, went very well. Some of them did get slightly out of control, but for the most part, New York City really came together in what was an electrifying evening after the game. Now, after last night's celebration, as you can see here in Madison Square Garden, the streets are open, they're clean, things are back to normal, and some fans are already showing up. They're lining up at the...
Despite the chaos, millions of fans later came together for a historic championship parade, celebrating the team's long-awaited win. Now, don't get me wrong, winning a championship after decades of waiting is a huge moment. But every time a team wins, we end up with the same questions. Why do some people feel like tearing up things is celebrating? There's a difference between celebrating history and creating public safety issues. The Knicks gave the city something to be proud of, but some fans turned the moment into headlines for the wrong reason. Right, like I think it was buses on fire. It was just a lot going on, and like, why y'all tearing up y'all city? Y'all know y'all still gotta get up and go to work in the morning. I don't know. I want to celebrate the Knicks on their win. Yes, I do want to congratulate them. Y'all be careful. Don't tear your city up, please. All right, moving on down. Okay, y'all, we're heading back into Illinois, where more man's terrifying experience during a tornado is giving people a first-hand look at just how quickly disasters can strike. Trevor Creaky captured videos as a powerful tornado moved through his area, destroying his home and turning an ordinary day into a fight for survival. The footage quickly spread online, with many people calling it one of the most chilling tornado videos they've seen this year. Thankfully, Trevor survived, but his story is a reminder of how devastating these storms can be and how quickly lives can change in a matter of seconds. And while surviving this storm is one challenge, recovering afterwards can be another.
Bro, there's a tornado outside right now. Oh my gosh. What in the world just happened? Jesus. Oh, my car's tore up. My whole house is tore up.
That's where growing controversy out of Maryville, Indiana comes in. Some tornado survivors stay at a Baymont hotel, say they were threatened with being removed from the property after bringing in outside food and supplies while recovering from storm damage. The allegations have sparked debate online, with many people questioning whether businesses should show more flexibility and compassion when serving families displaced by natural disasters. People just went through probably one of the most tragic, most displacing things in their life, and you're mad because they're bringing food and things. I mean, I would just be happy or grateful that they'll be able to pay the business if they're, I don't know. I think that's very crazy to be doing. Supporters of the hotel argue that businesses still have policies they must follow. while others believe extraordinary circumstances call for extraordinary understanding. I've never even heard of a hotel where you can't bring food in, or who knows what's in your bags, y'all. Unless, I don't know, I think that's crazy. Either way, both of these stories highlight an important reality. The impact of a tornado doesn't end when the wind stops. For many families, recovery can be a long and difficult journey that continues well after the storm has passed. So y'all, I'm gonna look into finding some links to where y'all can support, and they, just truly support the people that's been suffering from any challenges. So I think that's our last news segment for tonight, y'all. We're gonna move on down. I don't know if this was kind of short today, but I hope y'all enjoyed it.
So I came out to help a friend that's been affected by the tornado and brought some stuff to the hotel, the Bay Mountain Suites in Maryville. We get to the door with food and stuff for her, and the owner of the hotel tells her that we're hoarding and she can't stay here and she will refund her money. There's no absolute other hotels available right now, and they want to put her out. Now, we'll be wrong if we think it's just because, oh, we're black and we're bringing things in. But see, the other folk that brought the stuff in by the carts loads, nobody said anything to them. How do you treat somebody this way in a circumstance like this, knowing that they don't have anywhere else to go? That's what's wrong with the world. You cannot treat people that way. So yes, we're going to find out who the corporate manager is of the Bay Mountain, and we're going to deal with it. Because you don't treat people like that. I don't care what is going on. She has paid. It is paid. You're not doing us no favor. These people done lost all their personal information, birth certificates, you name it. They don't have many forms of identification. And this is what you're going to say? This is what you're going to say to somebody. But then if somebody snatch you behind the desk, they're going to be wrong because you coming at them sideways about a situation you don't even know. Everybody that you saw wasn't even staying here. It's horrible the way people treat you in today's time. And my heart just breaks. I came to help a friend. They got her crying, she in tears, and I'm bringing relief. That's what I thought I was bringing. And that's all I got.
Getting to the real talk. Sorry if the camera's still shaking. Recently, fans have spoke out about Rico after claiming that Lil' Kim used a dance he created without giving him credit. And whether you agree with them or not, it brings up a conversation that we've seen over and over again in the social media era. Why is it so hard for people to give credit when credit is due? And I feel like we've been seeing this throughout time, not just social media. This isn't a new conversation. We've seen creators, dancers, artists, and influencers repeatedly say their work was being used by bigger names without acknowledgement. Whether it's dance trends, viral challenges, original audio, audio, memes, or creative concepts, the people who start the trend often don't get the same recognition as the people with the largest platform. Think about how many times a dance goes viral and millions of people learn it without knowing who created it. Think about how often someone's original idea gets reposted over and over and over again until the creator's name completely disappears from the conversation. And honestly, I don't understand why giving credit seems so difficult. I really don't. Credit is free. It costs nothing to say, this dance was created by Rico, or I got an idea from this creator. You're still allowed to enjoy the content. You're still allowed to participate in the trend. Giving credit doesn't take away from you at all. It doesn't take away from your ability to do something. It just shows respect for someone else. What's even more frustrating is that so many of these creators spend hours coming up with original ideas, films, content, editing videos, and building trends from the ground up. Then someone with a larger following or a larger audience comes along, posts it, and gets more attention for it. Now, I'm not saying every situation is intentional. Sometimes people just genuinely don't know who started the trend. But when the creator is known, why not acknowledge who it was? Because at the end of the day, recognition matters. Opportunities come from recognition. Brand deals also come from recognition. Careers. And when credit disappears, sometimes these opportunities also disappear. So my question for y'all is simple. Why do we struggle to give credit where credit is due? Because in a world where everything wants to be seen, it seems strange that we're so comfortable overlooking the people who created something in the first place. And I meant to say, everybody wants to be seen. Yes, everybody wants to be seen, or if people do want to be seen or acknowledged for something, why not grant them that? I feel like it's weird, it's kind of selfish, and I don't know, conceited, if you will, y'all. I really do think that you should give credit where credit is due. I don't think I've posted anything yet so far where I didn't add or tag somebody video or somebody's information that I use. It's crazy, y'all. It's literally free to give people praise for, not even praise, I'm sorry. It's free, like, to give people credit. If you take something from somebody, give them credit, y'all. Like, it's literally nothing.
Talk your shine, baby. Talk your shine.
Before we wrap it up tonight, I have a little bit of advice for y'all. Don't let conveniency replace awareness. A lot of today's stories come down to people trusting systems, technology, crowds, or even information online without stopping to ask questions. Whether it's a rumor spreading on social media, an AI assistant accessing personal information, or a crowd making poor decisions in the heat of the moment, one thing remains true. It's important to stay informed and think for yourself. Not everything you hear is true, not everything that's popular is right, and not everything that's convenient is always in your best interest. Take the time to ask questions, read beyond the headlines, protect your privacy, give people credit when they've earned it, and remember that your choices still matter, even when everyone around you is doing something different. Right. Y'all, please use your brain. I know I say this all the time, but if you see, just because you see somebody doing something doesn't mean you should. Use your brain, follow your gut, use your discernment. Please just don't be out here just doing something because you've seen somebody else do it. But at the end of the day, wisdom isn't about knowing everything. It's about slowing down long enough to make thoughtful decisions. And that's how you protect your peace, your reputation, and your future. So that's about all I have for y'all tonight. Thank y'all for watching. I don't know if y'all know, but I did add at the end of the video like the TikTok of the week, and that's just my favorite TikTok of the week, or at least one that I thought was really good or funny. So I hope y'all tune into that. Just remember, we don't shrink, we don't settle, we shine. And I hope y'all have a good night, and I really appreciate y'all for watching and tuning in every week. Love y'all.